Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are back on the test server and today we're going to play around a little bit with that duo because honestly, having a look and testing it a little bit, it kind of seems to me that they could have a really good place in the current arena meta. Like, you know what, they're not going to be the end game tier, you know, they're not going to be able to compete with Taras, Marichka and the likes of those ones. But I do believe that they have a place and they can do some pretty interesting stuff in there. And the way that I've looked at them is they kind of bring some really good stuff together. Like, you know, Jetni is straight up, she's a straight up nuker in there. So that's the role that she will cover. And what I've done is I straight up moved all of my nuking gear from my Trunda onto her. So she's running at 7k attack, 306 crit damage, 100% crit rate and really slow. The reason for this is obviously most of the current arena meta, if we're talking about late end game, everybody's running slow, stone skin, stuff like that. So having your nuker really slow is one of those key things that you kind of want to do, you know, if you stand a chance. Because if you go too fast, you're just going to waste your nukes or you're going to waste the buffs that you have on your champions and you're basically going to lose that. So this is the build that I have on her. It's a little bit tricky with her because she's really squishy. However, her partner brings some really good stuff in there. We're gonna check that in a bit as well. Just want to show you the masteries first. And then obviously these are the, you know, the standard nuking masteries. Like you can change these depending on what you need, but I feel like this side and then the Ruthless Ambush, even the Cycle of Violence, these are pretty good ones. When it comes to support, your defense tree, you can decide. You either go support, I mean, maybe it's not a good, you know, maybe it's not a good choice to go support because with the polymorph, you don't really want her to land those debuffs. But she kind of has the A2 at least is irresistible if Alsgor is on the same team. So, you know, doesn't really matter. However, it's only one debuff. So, but I'm going to show you something because like the way that I'm using her, this one does not go first. Okay, so she's going to go second with the second AoE. And the good thing with her is as most arena nukers are, you know, nowadays that are really good, they have double AoEs. Unless it's, you know, the single target ones such as Rotos, Torvald or some other good ones that do some really good single target damage. But yeah, Jetni, this is her build. Now let's have a look at Alsgor Crimson Horn. So what he provides in the pairing is basically he enables her, especially with the A3, to get an extra turn. This is really important, especially in the current meta, because she doesn't do that much damage herself to maybe kill everything with this one sometimes. However, if you're facing the right team and you manage to kill at least one person, it just, you know, you don't have to kill everyone. Just kill one enemy. She gets an extra turn, which means you can go back into the A2. So one thing that I have noticed, this can be a pretty good counter to Marichka as an example. Like, you know, just Marichka herself, not both of them. So as an example, maybe you go with this one, you kill everyone, including Marichka. Marichka's passive procs, everybody gets revived. Well, she gets another turn and she can do the A2 and then she can kill everybody off. So, you know, this is something that I noticed that can be pretty good. And the way that I'm using Alsgor is honestly mostly for this one, the AoE buff remover. And the good thing is when he's paired with Jetni, doesn't matter that his force affinity, he cannot weak hit. I mean, even if he weak hits, he can still remove all of those buffs. And compared to other champions such as Kaimar, such as Mighty Uko, such as Ramantu, which are kind of, you know, the top tier ones, he only has one thing that he does that's basically a debuff. And that's the removing of debuffs, and that's about it. Every other ones, you know, remove debuffs, place block passive skills. They place block buffs and decrease accuracy. They play sleep, whatever, you know. So basically that gives you more chances to be polymorphed. Whereas Alsgor, he only has that one buff remover and that's about it. And I feel like that's a lot better in the current meta where, you know, everybody's running polymorph on everything. So just having one thing that can remove debuffs and then everything else is buffs makes him a little bit better in my opinion. You know, I might be wrong. I'm not the best at arena, you know, I have some idea, but this is what I noticed so far. He also brings buff extension with, let me see, is this one? Oh, yeah, this one. He also brings, what is it? Isn't this a buff extension? What am I missing? No, sorry, he puts the continuous heal. So he also puts continuous heals, and, you know, being a hit can also help you a little bit, maybe, you know, just a little bit of extra damage. Then on the A1, he does a little bit of heal for himself and a chance to extend the debuffs. This can help depending who else you bring in the team, but it's not as important. But then what he brings on the A3 as well is an AoE block damage. This can be really huge because this can help you, you know, be protected. This gives you an extra layer of protection for your team so you don't get killed. Like as an example, I'm going to be using Duchess as well. And, you know, having this to protect Duchess is going to help a lot. His passive is also interesting, landing at a decreased speed, but yeah, I have him built pretty fast, like not pretty fast, decently fast with a lot of accuracy and then, you know, some survivability stats. And these are the masters that I went with him. Might not be the best, might not be the worst, but, you know, they work pretty good. So let's test it a little bit because I've talked a lot about them and why they're good. But now let's have a look at some arena fights. Let me refresh. You know, it's gonna be some testing. There might be some long fights, there might be some slow fights, I might get some losses, you know. It depends on the builds. Like I'm gonna try and go against Farp stuff over here. I might lose. So I start straight out with the lockout. The way that I try to go with this one that can make it work really well is I try to have a lockout champion such as Warlord, such as Yumeko, you know, that goes first and locks them out. Then I have the Duchess that obviously is gonna give me increased attack, perfect veil that, you know, protects me. And then if I would have seen that if I would have seen that I didn't lock somebody out and maybe Candy and he can go a turn, I could go with the block damage. But because I saw lock them out, I go and try and remove the buffs. See, okay, I removed the buff, I did remove the stone skin, I removed everything else here. I buff here, and now let's see, can I actually kill someone with her? She's hopefully, unless, you know, Kendrafon has a a Swift parry, I should be able to kill him and then go again. As soon as she goes. Obviously, she's slow. So let's see. A3, let's see. Double hit. Didn't quite kill him, unfortunately. Even though this is, it's kind of unexpected. I was hoping to kill him, especially because he had a shield. And, you know, when somebody has a shield and she hits, she's supposed to ignore that shield. So let's go again. Now I kind of need to come back to my Warlord's lockout. Otherwise, you know, it's kind of a bad result. So this one seems like, you know, I'm not strong enough. I cannot compete. His team is just too bad, too good compared to mine. I still go with the A2. And look, this one smacks pretty hard as well. You know, the A2 smacks a little bit harder than the A3. Look at that. All buffs are removed, so that's a pretty good. We rotate, we come back again. The thing is, you know, some of these fights, when we're talking about higher level, they can take a long while. She's gonna take a while up until she comes back to her nukes, but yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna come back because this one might be a longer run. I'm just gonna come back to when we finish this fight. As you saw, you know, we survived because the block damage in there that saved us. So yeah, I'm gonna come back once this is finished and we're gonna jump to the next one. Okay, we're back. This was a little bit, like I said, longer than I expected, 3 minutes, but to be fair, I faced, you know, Farfstad has some +4s, +3s, you know, some really tanky champions in there. However, I still won the fight. Let's have a look to see if we can do the same thing against J-Gig. So, you know, same principle. I'm still keeping my Duchess because my Warlord's pretty fast. He's gonna straight up go lock them out. We go with this one, try and remove some buffs. Boom, we remove some buffs. Target the Duchess, and again waiting for her to get a turn. As soon as she gets a turn, if she kills something, she gets that extra turn, and that's what I'm trying to show. You know, being able to get an extra turn after doing one of the nukes, even though she's not, you know, she's not the hardest hitting champion in the game by any means. As long as you kill one champion, there you go, you get an extra turn, and you go again. There you go. And now it's just gonna be a case of waiting for that stone skin to come off because we didn't manage to strip it. And we're good to go. You know, this is like a 1 minute fight. And in this current meta, where everything's extremely slow, 1 minute is not that bad. 1 minute is not that bad of a fight. So we're slowly gonna take down and, you know, I'm gonna move on to the next fight. I did notice as an example, this team kind of worked even when, you know, I'm facing speed teams. As long as I'm faster, it can still do the job. She can do some decent damage on the A1 as well. And, you know, slowly kills some tanky champions off, and just, it's all about coming back to those skills and killing them off. Boom, there we go. 1 minute 11, not so bad. Let me see, let's go against Devil Jedi. Let's see. When I see something like this, I try to take my speed jumps. Let me see, I don't remember if I'm faster or not. Okay, I'm faster, I buff up, lock them out. Then, honestly, here I don't really need to remove buffs because it's only the perfect veil, so I'm just gonna do the block damage because that's gonna help me more. Now let's buff up. Let's see. Okay, she gets a turn. Nuke 1, nuke 2. Boom. 17-second fights. See, there we go. Moving on to the next one. Let's see against this tanky one. Same thing. Let me bring my Duchess again. Because, you know, when I see the tanky ones, I really like to use the Duchess because she kind of hides my champions. Okay, this is a high resistance one, so this might be tricky. Let's see. Okay, we did remove. See, we removed all of the buffs. She buffs up. I don't think that should be a problem. I should still be able to nuke at least one of them, hopefully with her. Unless I'm mistaken, I just don't do enough damage. Let's put the block damage just to be on the safe side. Come on, get a turn. This is the thing, you know, it's slow, but let's see. Can we kill something? Not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. However, once she comes back to her A2, I should hopefully start killing stuff because they're gonna lose their perfect veils and all the other buffs unless she does get an extra turn. And then that might be problematic with the strengthen, but still. This team looks pretty safe, and I really like the pairing of them because, like I said, not only do they enable, look at me, I can't even speak. Not only do they enable each other, but they also bring some good kits together. Like I said, him having only the buff removal in his kit can actually be pretty good. Let's see. I don't think I stand a chance against the Taras Mariška, so I'm not even gonna try. Okay, let's see. Now Braids is using the duo with Arbiter and Yumeko. Let's see. Am I faster than him? Can I do the same thing against them? Okay, I'm faster. Lock them out. Okay, it seems like I got resisted there. So over here, I don't have buffs to remove again. I use block damage. See, you will always try to judge what you need to do. So they got the buff up. I got decreased defense. That doesn't affect me in any way. Don't care because her damage is scales off of attack. So that's fine. Let's see. And go with A3. Boom, they're dead. 22 seconds. So, you know, this is honestly, it's pretty good. It's not too bad. Let's see against Layla, what can we do? Can we do the same thing? You know, because there's the current meta, like I said, is all about buffs. So, you know, because it's not ideal and you don't really want to bring people that do debuffs, having somebody that only removes buffs and doesn't place any debuff after that is kind of beneficial. So, you know, I'm really hoping to see them do with him the same way they did with the OL. If you remember, during the OL fusion, what they did is, look at that, extra turn, boom, and they're down again. See? So she has double AoEs. But what I meant, what they did during the OL fusion is they actually put, what's it called? They put Altan as a champion training reward for the first place in a group. So if they do the same thing with him, honestly, I will definitely try to get that. So I'm gonna go for her on the main account because you know what, she might be interesting, especially in Colbur. You don't have your champs speed tune. Come on. What's that? Lock them out, remove their buffs. Okay, so see, we did get polymorphed, but you know that can happen sometimes. We got slapped. That's not ideal. So this might be a loss. This might be a loss. But still, I still believe that they can be pretty interesting. You know, she's not going to be the best nuker in the game. She's not, you know, the high-end one. She's not going to compare to Taras, to Georges, to, you know, people like that. She's she's not better than Trunda, but if you have the pairing, it's going to be worth it, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's my opinion of this one. I do feel like they have a solid spot together in the current arena meta. But yeah, what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. Do you like what you saw? Do you think they can work good together? Do you think they have a spot in the current arena meta or not? Just let me know because I'm really curious about your opinions. But yeah, anyway, this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. If you do enjoy my content, as always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next. And I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care everyone. Bye, guys.